Assalamu alaikum Pakistan. This is your RJ Faisal Ilyas. You are listening to SPINOFF. Pakistan has won two of their first two T20 international games, and we have seen that now the road to the second round is very difficult for Pakistan. I hope all of us are coming out of this trauma slowly and gradually, but definitely we are looking forward to the third game, which is going to be played today. But whenever your team has to face such kind of morale, killing defeat, you talk about their defeat in details, and we have seen a lot of your senior players have started to talk about the defeat in details. We have seen Wasim Akram coming up with some of the comments of how Pakistan could have won this game, and he's criticizing some of the players in the team. Also, the management has also come into a lot of questions. So in today's show, we'll talk about what these senior players are saying about Pakistan's performance. We'll also talk about what is happening in the current supporting team that we have, because our PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi Saab has come up with his statements about a lot of changes in the team, in the selection committee as well. Wahab Riaz is also under fire. Azhar Mahmood has also come up and spoken to the media. So we'll talk about all of this in our show today, and we also will look forward to the three games that are going to be played from now till the next show tomorrow. Also, one game was played between South Africa, who have now won 3 games out of the 3 in this World Cup, and surely they are moving towards qualifying for the next round. They won against Bangladesh yesterday. We'll talk about this game in complete details, because this also was the game where runs were hard to come by, but eventually South Africa managed to score some runs, which is 113 runs for 6 wickets, and this was actually enough to beat Bangladesh. So we were talking about some of the comments that senior players have made about Pakistan based on their loss against USA and India. But most importantly, one of the senior players and an all-rounder which has been with the team for so many years, Azhar Mahmood, has come up with some statements, and it's very important to read out what he said, because then we'll understand what mindset the team is going with, because this gentleman is with the team for so many years as a bowling coach. Right now he's the assistant manager in the team, and I'll read out what he exactly said. He said, there is a life outside cricket. Our only entertainment is going out and having food. We cannot hang out like English players do. Players are following a diet plan. Do you want this team to bang their heads on the wall after a loss? And why not? Why not? These players should bang their heads on the wall. We have seen some of the Australian players do it. We also play cricket. We play hardball cricket as well, and we also throw away our pads. We throw away our bat when we have not done well. So why should the team not do it? If they were really playing to win the game, they should be frustrated about this loss, and they should do all of that. So Azhar Mahmood saying all of this, that doing the dinner after this loss, doing the shopping after this loss, and having fun after this loss, and not having the fun the kind of Western players do it, is also something that he is worried about, that why we don't do it. So all of this tells you as to how serious our team is and how serious the people sitting with the team are. I might be taking it a little badly, because the way they are comfortable after this loss is very discouraging for people like us who support this team, who actually do not sleep at night to watch their games, and we have been doing it since our childhood, and we see how our kids also support this team, and then this team comes out with such excuses is such a bad thing to hear. But here we are. There are other players who are not part of the team have also come out with their statements, like Wasim Akram has come up with very logical points. He spoke about the irresponsibility that Rizwan showed. He spoke about no creativity in the team in terms of how we had to chase down the total. In fact, there was no creativity required. It was just single double game. We had to put our body on the line, and we had to take singles and doubles. So I also agree with Wasim Akram's statements that some of the players were very irresponsible in the way they played against India. And obviously it's a game of cricket, you win some, you lose some, but against India, our it's always about Pakistan making silly mistakes, and this is what we did this time round as well. And we again came out as a defeating team against India. And it's not just India, we lost to USA as well. And when we look at how we can progress in this tournament, the only way to do it is based on ifs and buts. If USA gets to lose all of their next two games, and Pakistan gets to win their games against Canada and Ireland by a big margin, only then we can qualify for the Super 8. We had started talking about the game that was played yesterday between Bangladesh and South Africa. South Africa managed to win this game by just 4 runs, and South Africa have started their campaign very strongly. They have won all their 2 games that have been played so far. Similarly, Australia has won both of their games that they have played so far, one against mighty England and one against Oman. So coming back to South Africa, this game was also played in New York ground Nassau, where Pakistan and India played their game, and this ground is literally not producing any runs, but the one thing has gone better for this ground is that team winning the tosses and batting first have also come through. So yesterday one surprise was that South Africa won the toss and they elected to bat first, although they only scored 113 runs, conceding 6 wickets in 20 overs. And when they started their innings, it was very difficult to score runs, and we saw their 4 wickets went down very quickly. But eventually their middle order batting, Henrik Klaasen, who has been a great find for South Africa, middle order batter and wicket keeper, although he's not doing the wicket keeping, Quinton de Kock does it, but he's been an outstanding player for South Africa for the last 1.5 years. He managed to score 46 runs of 44 deliveries. Then second best scorer was David Miller, who was the man of the match in the last game against Netherlands. Again, outstanding batting by him. He scored 29 runs of 38 runs. So it will not be wrong to say that because of these 2 players, South Africa managed to score 113 runs in 20 overs. De Kock also looked very good initially, but he got out and he scored 18 runs of 11 balls. This performance was the repeat of the performance of India against Pakistan, where India only scored 119 runs. So same ground, same kind of a script, and same result. The team batting first actually came out winners. If we talk about Bangladesh's bowling, they were absolutely good in bowling. Tanzim Hassan Saqib got 3 wickets for just 18 runs. Taskeen Ahmed, their pacer, he took 2 wickets and he conceded 19 runs. Rishad Hussain also bowled quite well. He took just 1 wicket. He conceded 32 runs. At one stage, 79 runs were added by Klaasen and Miller to make South Africa reach this total of 113 runs. South Africa were 23 for 4 at one stage. So South Africa made the comeback in the first innings and they managed to score 113 runs, and that was enough eventually. We'll talk about the fact as to how Bangladesh chased down. They also looked good at some stage, at the halfway stage rather, and eventually they managed to lose the game just like Pakistan did. We have got some of the messages, and if I talk about the summary of some of the messages that we have received, all of you guys are talking about what changes we can expect in the team after the T20 World Cup, and some of you are actually right that we don't see much of the change in the team. We have lost last two T20 World Cups in the captaincy of Babar. We have seen Pakistan team doing so badly in the last year's 50 over World Cup. We also saw our team losing to Sri Lanka in Asia Cup final, and another Asia Cup was also lost, the 50 over Asia Cup that was played last year. So we have lost many major tournaments under the captaincy of Babar Azam, and we have lost the tournaments in the same team that has been playing for many years. And very interestingly, Wasim Akram has the similar kind of thinking that you guys are thinking and sharing in your messages. What he has to say, I'll read it out. He's saying that Pakistani players think that if they don't perform well, the coaches will be sacked and nothing will happen to the players. It is time to keep the coaches and change the entire team. So actually Wasim Akram is also thinking the same thing, that we keep on playing the same players again and again without having giving them any competition. And we have seen all the successful teams, they keep on changing their players. We have seen that players like Smith is not playing for Australia this year. We have seen that their captain who won them the 2023 50 over World Cup is not the captain in T20 format. I'm talking about Pat Cummins. So we see these kind of changes in successful teams. But with Pakistan, we are going with the same team. We have been very monotonous in our options, and we have seen that we have left out very good players like Amir Jamal, who is the player from the system. He's also been very candidly spoken about that he should have been part of the team. We have seen that last year's Find Harris, who did so well in last T20 World Cup, he also did not make it to the team this year. So all of these things are worrisome, and we hope that our chairman PCB Mohsin Naqvi is going to take some steps, because he's already indicated that he's going to have major changes in the team, in the support team. And all of these feedback that we are getting from the senior players are probably the same noise that we are creating when we talk about our team. We are coming back to the game that we were talking about, Bangladesh and South Africa. Bangladesh obviously batted second, and they could only manage 109 for 7, and they lost the game by 4 runs. Very interestingly, they were going at a very good situation at the halfway mark. They were 50 for 4, and they almost needed run a ball, but they couldn't manage to do it. The top performer in batting was Tauheed Ridoy. He managed to score 37 runs off 34 balls, but obviously it was not enough in the end, and he was also very unfortunate to get out. He got out LBW on umpire's call, and when you look at it from the naked eye, it looked like it was going towards the leg side, but he got out, and that was the time when the momentum shifted towards South Africa, and they eventually managed to win the game. Mahmudullah, who is a very senior most player for Bangladesh, who bowls off spin as well, a good all-rounder, he got out for 20 of 27, and he could not hit out Keshav Maharaj in the last over we saw, which eventually gave the game away to South Africa. And Najmul Hussain Shantu, he managed to score 14 runs off 23 balls. If we talk about South Africa's bowling, Keshav Maharaj took 3 wickets. Their off-spinner, left-arm off-spinner, he took 3 wickets for 27 runs. And we have seen that all of the left-arm off-spinners are doing so well in this World Cup, and we did not have a off-spinner in our team, although we have been crying that we should have one off-spinner. And we have seen some off-spinners in the ranks with the likes of Faisal Kareem and some other left-arm off-spinners that have played in the Under-19 World Cup also, but they've all been ignored because we have Shadab Khan, who we can't live without. If we talk about other bowlers from South Africa, Nokia, who has been great on these pitches, has taken 2 wickets in yesterday's game, and Kagiso Rabada also took 2 wickets, and both of them gave away very few runs. So because of the performance of all these 3 bowlers, South Africa win the game by 4 wickets, and this will be a morale boosting win for South Africa as well, because they won the toss, and on this ground where every team was selecting to bowl first, they took the batting decision and they managed to win the game. So it's going to give them very confidence, very boosting confidence to whenever they even lose the toss and they have to bat first, they will manage to win the game. That's what you do in the round games, and when you have these minnow teams in your group, this is how you dominate, by taking tough decisions. So if we talk about the summary of the match, Bangladesh were 50 for 4, then Mahmudullah and Tauheed put on 43 runs for the 5th wicket, and by the time both of these were there on the crease, it looked like it was easy for Bangladesh to win the game, but it didn't happen eventually. Now these 2 teams go on and play. South Africa has to play their next game against Nepal on 14th of June. Bangladesh has to play their next game against Netherlands on 13th. And by the way, these teams from the Group B are very lucky. They get to play in US, and they also get to play in West Indies. If Pakistan, on the other hand, does not qualify for the next round, we have gone to US and we'll come back from there only. We are talking about the games that are to be played from now onwards till our next show tomorrow. tomorrow. The first game is the most exciting game for all the Pakistanis, praying for their team to win the first game in this year's T20 World Cup. This game is going to be played between Pakistan and Canada, and guess what? We are playing this game again in New York in the Nassau County International Stadium in New York. Let's hope the tables turn this time round and the luck goes with Pakistan team and we win the first game in this year's T20 tournament. So 6 games have been played in the New York ground, and teams batting first have won 3, thanks to South Africa to win the toss and bat first and win the game on this ground, and batting second teams have also won 3 games on this ground. But a team like Pakistan should not be worrying about all of this today. They just have to go out and win the game, and let's hope that they go in the ground with the good combination, not playing players who are bowlers and expecting them to perform as batters. I'm talking about Shadab Khan, and we have to come up with a team which manages to win this game for Pakistan and give some respect to the team and the country. Alright, and with Canada, they are also on a high because they've beaten Ireland, which is a full member team, and they if we look at the way they are performing in this World Cup, and if you look at how their captain is confident, they are going to give a tough time to Pakistan, just like India and USA have already done it. So Group A will be kind of very clear as to which team is going where. God forbids if Pakistan loses today, or if we win by a very narrow margin, then the chances of Pakistan going to the next round will be completely over. But if Canada manages to win today, they will be the contenders for going into the next round, and they'll be competing against USA, who now have to play against India and Ireland in their next matches. Alright, so the second game that is to be played is from the Group D. Sri Lanka will take on Nepal, but this game will be played tomorrow, 4:30 a.m. and this game is being played in Lauderhill, and this is probably the first game. Yes, it's the first game of the World Cup on the third venue in the US, which is Lauderhill. So we'll also be looking at what kind of a pitch this Lauderhill provides, and ICC is already under a lot of questions on the kind of pitch they have set up in New York, but we'll have to wait and see as to what kind of a pitch will be there in Lauderhill. So this will then ensure that all of the venues have been hosting the games in this T20 World Cup being happening in West Indies and USA. The third game is to be played tomorrow morning again at 5:30 a.m. This game is from Group B. Australia will take on Namibia in this game, and we all know how Australia has been clinical in the last 2 games that they have played, and this group is also wide open because we have seen that England has not won any game so far. Scotland has been doing so well. So all to watch out for. All these 3 games are important in their own right. I can see a lot of WhatsApp messages coming in on Pakistan team. You can keep on sending your messages. We'll read them out. You can also see how we look like on our social media pages, which is @CityFM89. Pakistan is going to take on Canada today at 7:30 p.m. In the same ground where Pakistan played India, and we hope Pakistan does well in today's game because it's very critical. We've already seen some of the old players posting their pictures and saying that they are fit to play. I'm talking about Omar Akbal. He has already posted his picture saying that I am fitter than the existing Pakistani players. So before that happens further, our team needs to do well. In the Group D, the second game is going to be played between Sri Lanka and Nepal, and in the Group B, the next game is going to be played between Australia and Namibia. We expect all of these 3 games to be high scoring games and exciting games. Although the game between Pakistan and Canada is on the Nassau ground, where we have seen that high scoring games are hard to come by, but we expect Pakistan to do well, and with this hope that Pakistan wins this game and comes back in this tournament, and our team does well, and the other two games are also expected to be great, because Australia has already been showing their strength in this World Cup, and they are a very exciting team. The kind of players they have are all worth watching. And Sri Lanka also has to do well, because if they do not win this game against Nepal, their campaign will also be over for this T20 World Cup. So with this hope that Pakistan team does well, it's time for me to say goodbye. I'll see you all tomorrow, again with the hope that Pakistan does well.